Hello, my name is Anita Faber, and I will be talking about emerging technologies, specifically in 3D printing. So, the definition of emerging technologies I think we all know by now, but is generally used to describe a new technology, but it may also refer to a continuing development of existing technologies and can be slightly different, meaning between different areas such as media, business, science, or education. The term commonly refers to technologies that are currently developing or that are expected to be available within the next 5 to 10 years, and is usually reserved for technologies that are creating or expected to create significant social or economic effects. So what's the definition for 3D printing? 3D printing is the action or process of making a physical object from a three-dimensional digital model, typically by laying down many thin layers of a material in succession. So, how does it work? What is this 3D printing about guns? Can you 3D print a 3D printer? And why are they so expensive? What can you actually make with them, apart from guns? Well, it all starts with the creation of a 3D model in your computer. This digital design is, for instance, a CAD file, a computer-aided design file. A 3D model is either created from the grouped up with 3D modeling software or based on data generated with a 3D scanner. With a 3D scanner, you're able to create a digital copy of an object. Some 3D scanners. Currently, the prices of 3D scanners range from very expensive industrial-grade 3D scanners to about $30 do-it-yourself scanners that you can make at home. Some software comes in many different forms. There's industrial-grade software that can cost thousands of dollars per year per license, but there's also 3D or free online sources. 3D modeling software is often made to suit the functions of the user's industry or personal use. This has resulted in the rise of software suited for specific niches. As a result, there are software applications on the market that cater to aerospace or transportation, furniture design, or fabric and fashion, among many, many others. For this reason, when you're starting out with 3D printing, the amount of choices can be a bit overwhelming. So what does it cost to have a 3D printer? Well, where do we start? First, let's ask ourselves a few questions. What would you like to learn? Are you interested in the hardware? Or do you just want to focus on the end result, the objects? Answering this question could lead you to the decision of whether you should buy a pre-assembled 3D printer or a do-it-yourself printer kit. So you want to buy a 3D printer, but you have a tight budget. Starting your journey into 3D printing doesn't need to be expensive. There are plenty of inexpensive 3D printers under $250. So how much does a 3D printer cost, and what determines that price? Well, first, the parts. When a manufacturer uses high-quality parts, this will affect the price of the end product. When the parts are of high quality, it doesn't mean that your prints will turn out great. There are too many other factors that play a role as well. When a manufacturer tries to go cheap on parts, it can market the product for a good price. On the other hand, that doesn't automatically mean that a cheap 3D printer will give you bad results. But you'll probably have to put in a little bit more time and a little bit more effort to get the same level of results. Second, there's research and development that goes into 3D printing. It can take years of groundwork and engineering before the final product is a stable, high-quality 3D printer. Manpower can become costly over time, which of course needs to be earned back, and that goes to the consumer. The next element that influences the price of a 3D printer is the assembly. It's generally cheaper and more efficient to just ship the parts compared to a fully assembled 3D printer. And then this brings us to the last point, which determines the 3D printer price. Well, it's customer service and the warranty. There's a good chance you'll run into some problems when you first buy a 3D printer. In case you've chosen a 3D printer from an established brand, you may pay more, but you will have the reassurance that there's always support to back you up. Also, when, for instance, something breaks in shipping, and it probably will, you'll be glad you chose a product with a warranty. So here are some lists of what is being printed in the various industries. You see consumer goods, industrial goods, high tech, services, and healthcare. As we've seen from others, there are several things in healthcare being printed in 3D. And one that I want to just point out is that NASA is currently working on some antibacterial material that the astronauts can use on future space missions. If you'd like more information on this, I highly recommend just Googling NASA and 3D printing. You'll get the whole article that I found, and it is fascinating to read. I just don't have time to share all of it here as it was quite lengthy. Here are some examples of things that are currently being printed and some things that are in the experimental stage of things that are being 3D printed. Again, you want some examples? Google it. You'll find more than just these few items listed. So in conclusion, I thank you for the time for me to share a few of the things that I learned while researching 3D printing. I had no idea it was beyond just the little toys that I have from my students at student ministry for fidget spinners. It goes way beyond the things that you hear in the media about 3D printing guns. The medical industry is huge, and this is saving so many people thousands and thousands of dollars for prosthetics and other various medical treatments that is being 3D printed.